You know that classic urban planning joke, right? About solving traffic?
Oh, yeah. The one where they just add one more lane.
Exactly. Sounds simple, seems like it should work, but well, it usually doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
So today on the deep dive, we're kind of looking at how that same idea, that same fallacy pops up in brand strategy.
Right. The one more lane approach in business.
Yeah, adding just one more thing, maybe a product, a new feature, another campaign.
And hoping that will be the fix.
But it often just leads to, well, bloated offerings, right? And maybe a confused brand identity. And definitely diminishing returns sometimes.
Absolutely. And our mission for you today really is to dig into the dangers of that kind of linear thinking.
Okay.
We'll look at some real-world examples, the good, the bad, to show you how different approaches, more innovative ones, can lead to real growth, not just more lanes.
It's such a clear parallel, isn't it, when you put it like that?
It really is. It crops up everywhere.
Thinking about one more lane, the cereal aisle just springs to mind immediately. All those variations.
That's a perfect example, almost textbook.
But what's the actual danger, like beyond just overwhelming the shopper? Is it that brands lose their way, lose focus?
Yeah, focus is a huge part of it. The source material we looked at points this out. Take Frosted Flakes, for instance. Adding flavors initially boosted things,
Okay.
but eventually overwhelmed. And worse, sometimes they ended up just stealing sales from their own original product. Cannibalization.
Right, eating your own lunch.
Exactly. And this repetitive thinking, this focus on just adding more, can make brands miss the big picture. Think about Kodak.
Oh, yeah, classic example.
Huge in photography. But their big mistake wasn't just missing the boat on digital cameras.
No.
Well, that was part of it, obviously. But the sources really detail this sort of organizational inertia. They were so tied to their incredibly profitable film business.
The cash cow.
Precisely. And internal politics, this fear of damaging film sales,
Yeah.
it created this collective blind spot, a real innovator's dilemma. So by the time they fully grasped that digital was the future, well, it was pretty much too late.
It really makes you think, are you just improving a path that's kind of dying out, or are you actually building a new one?
That's the fundamental question.
That Kodak story is.
Yeah. It's a powerful warning.
Yeah?
Chilling, really, how a giant like that can just miss it.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, if adding more isn't the answer, what is? How do companies actually break free? How do they innovate? Netflix seems like the go-to example, right? Moving from DVDs.
Definitely. And Netflix's move wasn't just like a bold guess.
No.
The sources highlight how carefully they studied user data. They saw internet speeds ramping up, and they had the really radical foresight to basically cannibalize their own successful DVD business.
Knowing someone else would do it eventually.
Exactly. They knew if they didn't disrupt themselves, a competitor would. It was intentional self-disruption.
Okay, so that's one way. Data, foresight, self-disruption. What else?
Well, moving beyond this fallacy often involves, questioning basic assumptions, getting new perspectives.
It could be really focusing on the customer, like Apple did with the iPhone. Not just adding features, but totally rethinking the experience.
Right, user needs first.
Or looking outside your industry.
Yeah.
Think Airbnb applying sharing economy ideas to hospitality. Completely disruptive.
Yeah.
And sometimes, believe it or not, it's about simplification. Procter & Gamble, for example, slashed their shampoo brands way down, focusing resources on the winners, like Pantene.
Fewer lanes, but better ones.
Kinda, yeah. Or maybe just focusing the traffic better. These are all ways to break free.
That makes sense. And I guess another path is that sort of ecosystem thinking,
Tell me more.
where like each part of the brand reinforces the others. Amazon going from books to cloud services to entertainment, it all kind of connects.
Absolutely. Building a network effect within your own offerings.
Or Lego, that's an amazing story. They almost went bankrupt, right? Adding way too many different product lines.
They did. Spread themselves way too thin.
And their comeback, it was about refocusing on the core, the brick itself.
Right, back to basics.
But they innovated around the brick. Movies, theme parks, video games. It wasn't just one more brick set. It was a whole new Lego world.
A fantastic example of innovating around the core, not just linearly adding to it.
So yeah.
So let's just reiterate that central idea, the one more lane fallacy, that linear thinking. It leads to stagnation, wasted effort, missed opportunities. Spotting that pattern in yourself or your organization, that's step one.
Absolutely. And true innovation, the kind that really moves the needle, it often means questioning those deep down assumptions, actively looking for different viewpoints.
Being willing to challenge the status quo.
Yeah, and sometimes maybe it just means being brave enough to build a whole new road, like Netflix did, moving from DVDs to streaming, or Lego focusing on the brick but building this whole universe around it.
Powerful examples of charting a new path.
So here's something for you to think about. What one more lane might you be tempted to add, maybe in your own work or even just in your life? And what totally new path could you maybe chart instead?